My granddad was a postman. My nan stayed at home. They bought a 3-bed semi in 1974, paid off the mortgage by the time they were 50, and went to Benidorm twice a year. Fast forward to today. You and your partner both work full-time. Maybe you're pulling in 40, 50, even 60 grand each. On paper, you are rich. You are in the top percentiles of UK earners. So why does it feel like you're one broken boiler away from financial ruin? We've been sold a dream. If we both work, we'll have double the money. But we don't. We have double the stress, double the commute, and a house that costs 8 times our salary instead of 3. Today we're talking about the two-income trap. Why the British dream has become a financial nightmare. Why earning 100 grand combined isn't what it used to be, and exactly where all that extra money went. To understand why we feel skint, we have to look at the arms race. And no, I don't mean nuclear weapons. I mean the bidding war for the roof over your head. Back in the 70s, the average house in the UK cost about 3 to 4 times a single person's annual salary. That meant a single earner, a teacher, a factory worker, a postie, could buy a house. It was tight but doable. If the second parent went to work back then, that money was pure profit. It was gravy. It paid for the new Ford Cortina, the holiday, the nice furniture. It was luxury money. But then, something happened. We all started sending the second earner to work, and logically you'd think, great, families now have double the money. But economics doesn't work like that. When everyone has 2 incomes, nobody has an advantage. We didn't use that extra money to get twice as rich. We used it to bid against each other for the exact same houses. The bank saw you had 2 incomes and said, brilliant, you can borrow more. So the prices went up and up. The result? The average house price is now 8 or 9 times the average salary, especially down south. The luxury of the second income got absorbed entirely by the mortgage. You aren't working twice as hard to get ahead. You're working twice as hard just to stand still. Now let's talk about the specific disaster that is phantom income. This is where the UK is actually much worse off than our American friends. Let's say partner B decides to go back to work. They land a decent job paying 35,000 a year. That sounds like a lot of money. That's nearly 3 grand a month. But let's run it through the BAS reality filter. First, income tax and national insurance. The taxman takes his cut. You're left with about 2,300 take-home pay. Now you have a 2-year-old. Welcome to the UK childcare system, officially one of the most expensive in the OECD. A full-time nursery place in London or the southeast? You're lucky to get change from 1,600 a month. So we've got 700 quid left. But wait, you have to get to work. A train season ticket into a city, or running a second car with petrol at £1.40 a litre. Let's call that a conservative 300 a month. Now add the work lunches, the professional clothes, the odd coffee. You are working 40 hours a week, dealing with office politics and commuting in the rain for, what, 300 or 400 quid a month? That is effectively £2.50 an hour. That is the phantom income. You think you're adding 35k to the household, but after the mortgage premium and the nursery fees, the second earner is basically working for free. Ah, Baz, I hear you say. I just need to earn more money. If I earn 100k, I'll be fine. Well, hold on, because the UK tax system has laid some very specific traps for the ambitious 2-income family. We call these fiscal cliffs. Trap number 1, the child benefit charge. The moment one of you earns over 60,000, the government starts clawing back your child benefit. By 80,000, it's gone. You are paying tax, and then paying an extra tax to give back money you already received. Trap number 2, the 100k death zone. This is the big one. If you earn between 100,000 and 125,000, you start losing your personal allowance. For every £2 you earn in this bracket, you lose £1 of tax-free allowance. When you do the math, your effective tax rate is 60%. 60%! And to add insult to injury, if you cross that 100K line, you lose your eligibility for tax-free childcare hours. So, you work harder, you get a promotion, you breach the 100K mark, and suddenly you are taking home less money than you were before because your nursery bill just doubled. It's a game that is rigged against you winning. There is one other reason we stretch ourselves to the absolute limit on two incomes. It's not just the house, it's the school. In the UK, we don't just buy bricks and mortar, we buy the catchment area. Every parent wants the best for their kids. But in this country, a house inside the catchment area of an Ofsted outstanding state school commands a massive premium, sometimes tens of thousands of pounds more than an identical house 2 streets away. This is the hidden cost of the two-income trap. We are using our dual salaries to outbid each other for access to free state education. We are effectively paying private school fees, but we're paying them to the bank in mortgage interest, rather than to a bursar. If you don't play the game, you worry your kid ends up at the school with the metal detectors. So you take the bigger mortgage. You lock yourself into the trap. In America, they talk about medical bankruptcy. In the UK, we have the NHS. Whew, thank God. If you get sick, you won't get a bill. But we have a different problem. If you have a massive mortgage that requires 2 incomes to service, you are walking a tightrope without a net. If one of you loses your job, the state's safety net, universal credit, is not going to save you. There are caps on how much you can get. Support for mortgage interest is a loan, not a grant, and it takes months to kick in. It certainly won't cover the mortgage on a 4-bed in Surrey. In the 70s, if the dad lost his job, the family struggled. Today, if either partner loses their job, the family loses the house. We have doubled the risk of insolvency because we have doubled the odds of someone getting made redundant. Look, this sounds depressing, I know. I'm not saying women should get back in the kitchen. I'm not saying we should go back to the 1950s. But we have to be honest about the math. 2 incomes are no longer a luxury. They are a requirement for a standard of living that used to cost 1. So what do we do? How do we hack the system? 1. Live on one, save the other. If you can, even for a few years, pretend the second income doesn't exist. Don't upgrade the house to the limit of your borrowing. If you can live on one salary and bank the second, you become bulletproof. 2. Check the cliffs. If you are near that 60,000 or 100,000 tax trap, put the extra money into your pension. It reduces your adjusted net income and can get you your child benefit or free nursery hours back. It's the one legal loophole regular people have. 3. Redefine success. Maybe the dream home isn't worth the 60-hour weeks and the stranger raising your kids. Sometimes a smaller mortgage and a simpler life is the real wealth. The game is rigorous, but you don't have to play by their rules. Keep your fixed costs low, watch out for the taxman, and don't let the bank dictate your life. Right, hopefully that made sense. If you want more honest money tips without the waffle, do me a massive favor. Hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get your money sorted. See you in the next one. Cheers.